We are live. How are you? Happy Monday. Can you believe we're stepping into the second week in June? For those of you that are here with me live, let me know where you're coming in from. I'm so excited for this week ahead. It's going to be amazing. We're coming into summer solstice, the longest day of the year. We're in a portal where the energy is fantastic. We're moving into summer. And I want to just say, I am so grateful to be here with each and every one of you today. So those of you that are on live, I see there's quite a few of you. Let me know where you're coming in from. I really want to know, and let's engage in the chat today because I have so many questions that I get to ask you so that we get to engage in the chat together. So the toxin trap, what's really keeping you sick, foggy, and fatigued? The thing is, I bet you're even doing all the right things. You're doing everything right, but you're just not sure what's going on. I want to welcome everyone personally. Those of you that don't know me, I'm Dr. Holly Donahue. I am a New Hampshire board certified root cause naturopathic doctor and an expert in detoxification, mold, mycotoxin illness, especially for those of you that are high performing, driven leaders, C-suite executives, doing all the things right, and still you aren't getting better. And it's very interesting that I'm stepping in and having this conversation today. I met one of my mom's new caregivers last night, for her to be supported through the night. And this individual is so excited to learn about supplements and natural medicine because she couldn't get help from her chronic fatigue. They could not figure out, meaning the medical doctors could not, and this is not disrespecting the medical doctors at all. I love them. There's so many great practitioners out there. I just want to make that clear. We all get to work together, but we all have a skill set that we work in, right? And so she could not get help and they could not figure it out. They'd send her to the neurologist because they had neurological symptoms. They'd send her to the gastroenterologist because she had gut symptoms. And she felt like it was this ping pong back and forth, and she just wasn't getting better. Well, at the end of the story, she actually had mold toxicity, right? And so she had candida on top of that. And she wasn't able to do deep cellular healing. She's feeling better now, but I can still see there's signs and symptoms. So I wanted to share that story with you because this comes up so many times for me with patients. Like, you're my last resort, Dr. Donahue. So today I really want to pull back the curtains on toxicity and mold exposure and why they're often the hidden reason you can't heal. Even with my Lyme patients, Bartonella patients, auriculosis, babesia. Sometimes when I can't get them ahead and heal, I've got to step back and look at, is mold involved? Is candida involved? Because we've got to take the toxins out of the cell. So I want to hear from all of you right now. Drop in the chat. Have you ever felt like your body is truly sabotaging you, even though you feel like your habits are on track? Drop me in the chat if you feel like that's you. You're doing all the right things, just like this beautiful woman. She's 54 years old, and you know, she didn't get a break and figure it out until she went to Colorado to help someone, a loved one, with a surgery that was happening. So the truth is that this happens all the time, that you're doing all the right things. And so the struggle is real. You know, being a high performer, goal-oriented individual, you know, you've got your green smoothies, you're doing your morning walks like I did this morning, you're eating a healthy breakfast, you've spent all this money on supplements, and you're trying to eat organic, and maybe you have a CSA. But here's what you can't admit publicly, because inside you just don't feel like yourself. You're not able to think straight. You feel foggy or emotionally flat, even forgetful. Like this woman was feeling forgetful, puffy, achy, and maybe you've gained weight without changing anything. Like you feel bloated around the midline. The other thing I see with patients is they're barely functioning, but they're masking it with coffee or even green tea or extra protein. and just like pushing through with the hustle, and they just think that the willpower will get them through. And probably on the outside, everybody thinks they've got it together because they're holding it. That's what we do as leaders, we hold it. But deep down in the heart, you're scared that this might be your new normal. I've been there, right? If you feel like you're running on grit alone and your body is starting to push back, drop exhausted in the chat. Yeah. You're pushing, but you feel like you can't get ahead. So let's talk about how toxins and mycotoxins, which is toxicity from mold, actually hijack the body. So I want to give you some science here because I want you to understand what's actually happening inside of you. I find that individuals who understand, then they're more apt to really go and support the help, go and seek the help, or they're actually more inclined to actually do the treatments that we talk about. So what is toxic load? It's where you're exposed to hundreds of chemicals on a daily basis. It can be food, air, or water, you guys. It's just not clean. Personal care products, those are chemicals, like your makeup, your hair, the cream that you put on, and even like, radiation it can be toxic. Mold and mycotoxins, they live in foods, they live in homes, they live in buildings, and they can stay in your body for years. This toxicity actually disrupts your hormones. It imbalances your immune function. Like this individual I spoke to last night, like her immune function was really tanked, right? And so she had no, what we call mitochondrial energy, which is the powerhouse of the cell. So her cells had this toxic overload. So they were not able to get the energy they need. And so the brain clarity also is disrupted. You can't focus as well. Your cognition isn't on track. So let's just go over some symptoms because maybe you're struggling and you don't even know that this might fit you. And I also want to be clear that there's so many other symptoms, but I tried to pick the ones that you would be able to connect to and feel like related to clinically when you're dealing with your symptoms. Sound good? Okay, great. So brain fog is one of a key ones. Extreme fatigue. Like you might get energy when you wake up in the morning, but you quickly lose your energy. Or you might get energy for a period of time after you're eating, but then it drops again. Joint and muscle pain are another one that is really indicative of a toxic overload. Histamine reactions. Your mast cells in your body release histamine. And so you can get rashes, you can get allergies. So you want to get like histamine in check and see what's going on. The other one is immune dysregulation. You're probably like, well, Dr. Donahue, how do I know my immune system's not working? Well, the key is that you're probably getting a cold and flu consistently, or you have this underlying low energy, or you fear like, oh, I don't want to hug that person because, they're coughing and sneezing, or they're on a plane. I don't want to get sick. Like, I don't ever worry about that because I know I have a strong immune system, right? So many people freak out. Oh, the person's in the back coughing and I have a big event and I'm going to get sick. Well, if you have a strong immune system and you're not going 90 miles an hour and you're not burnt out, chances are you're going to be okay. I don't know that I've ever gotten sick on a plane, knock on wood, right? The other one that I look at is hormonal chaos. So which of these have you felt recently? Drop your 2 symptoms in the chat so that I know. Okay, fatigue, low energy, joint pain. Yep. Yeah. Brain fog. Scared. Yeah, so many people are scared, like I talked about above, like because they need to hold it all together. They feel like there's this key that they have to hold it all together and they can't get support. So I want to encourage you, who said you're scared. I don't want to call out names, but yeah, really get the support you need and get the testing you need. I use real-time labs as mycotoxin testing, but make sure you get a whole host of labs to see where you're at. So let's talk about 5 signs that you might be dealing with some of the hidden toxicity like we talked about with symptoms. You're doing everything right, but you still feel stuck and exhausted. You don't feel like yourself. And you know what, you guys? You know what yourself feels like. I'm only the conduit to healing. The doctors are only showing up, guiding you with what they see on the report to get you to heal, right? You have brain fog, but you can't seem to get rid of it. Like, you can't shake it. Like, it doesn't matter what you do, your brain isn't as clear. Or you sit down to do something. This is a number one thing that I see with C-suite executives and that have a whole team underneath them, or VPs. They sit down to do the task that they know they want to build out, and they just can't focus and concentrate to start. They just can't get started. The other one is you might be reacting to everything like scents or foods, or supplements, right? So if practitioners are giving you supplements and you're just not feeling like they're working, or you feel sick afterwards, or you can't take anything in, there's hidden toxicity in the body, right? Whether it's mold or something else. You're inflamed no matter how clean you eat. Like, your joints are constantly feeling fatigued, your knees, your legs, walking up and down the stairs. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you're like, I'm eating clean. Why would I be toxic? Because the truth is the toxicity is still there. You're just not adding to it, right? And the other number one factor that I really look at with patients is they can't recover from an illness or stress that they're used to, like just a little bit, right? These aren't just quirks. These are clues that your body is actually overwhelmed and it's whispering to you. And I want to tell you, it's truly time to listen. So I want to ask all of you that are live with me, which of these 5 hit home for you the most? Drop the number in the chat. How many of these hit home for you? 3, 2. Okay, just 2 answers. Great. Thanks for answering, you guys. I want to let you know that your body isn't broken. It's overloaded in toxins. It's not your fault. Your body isn't failing. It's protecting itself and you from a toxic burden. It was never, our bodies are not meant to carry these heavy burdens. So once you see the right practitioner create the right detox strategy, testing and support, you can actually heal. You can heal your energy, you can heal your clarity, you can create this vital force, you can build immunity so that you don't get sick. Your body is still in there. It doesn't want to be sick. It wants to be well, but you got to give it what it needs. But in order to give it what it needs, you also need to show up and get the test done so that you know what's actually going on, and you have to have the right practitioner to give you the right test. I want to ask you, if you're ready to look deeper and finally get answers, drop ready in the chat. Yeah, because you don't want to be tired anymore. You're sick and tired of being sick and tired. I say this to patients all the time, right? They've had enough. If this live is speaking to you and you're realizing that toxicity might be your link, like your missing link, it's time to act. Don't let yourself go through another season this June where you're stuck in survival mode. I have opened up my calendar and I'm taking a few personalized calls this month, specifically for women that are navigating fatigue, fog, or even potential toxic and mold exposure. I'm going to drop the link in the chat. We've opened up 72 hours right now for you to actually jump on board and book with me. And I'm happy to connect and guide you and see where you need the support and where I can help you. I really want to answer questions around toxicity and mold or your immune system. So drop them in the chat right now and I will wait a few minutes. You guys don't always ask me questions. You say yes or no, but literally I'm here. So I'm going to take a sip of my tea right now and I'm going to wait for you to ask a few questions. You know, you guys, when your body and your cells are on overload, they just can't get the energy they need. And it doesn't matter like what you try to do as an individual until you detox and remove. And I'm not talking like just go on a juice detox or a 14-day detox. I'm really talking about a targeted herbal protocol that will help you begin to remove, but also testing so that you actually know what's going on, and we're not just throwing supplements at you so that you can actually um begin to heal, right? So let's see. All right, so I don't have any questions, but I want to say to you, if today I was able to fire you up and you've got something in you that you're realizing, like, just how much you want to change. And in this case, what I want to drop in the chat is, are you an individual but where sugar has been running the show for you? And then you don't stop there, right? And remember, sugar feeds, for example, mycotoxins and mold and candida. It's this vicious cycle. Sugar creates inflammation, and inflammation is the grounding force for all chronic diseases, right? We can oust the genetic ones, but I'm just talking about in general. So I want to invite you to join me live for the next Sugar Detox Challenge that's starting next Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is your chance to actually reset your biology, reclaim your energy, and break free from sugar cravings that have been keeping you stuck. So this sugar challenge is all about the sugar reset loop, breaking the cycle, boosting your energy, and reclaiming your body so that you can live in a body you love every single season. You don't need more willpower. You need a system and a strategy. I got a note from an individual who just did the sugar detox challenge last month, and what she was saying was so amazing. She was able to lose about 7 pounds during it. She's now made it a way of life. She's walking all the time. She wants to keep her weight at a certain weight, and she's doing an amazing job. And she showed up and did the 5-day challenge with us, as well as the Wellness Accelerator upgrade. And I just love to get those testimonials, because the truth is you don't want to go at doing this alone. Having accountability and a proven plan, like I've done doing so many of these challenges, it's so important. So if you've been feeling inflamed and exhausted or frustrated with your body, and especially knowing you have a particular event coming up, or you want to live in a summer body all the time, if your sugar cravings keep coming back no matter how clean you eat, this is your real chance to heal the root cause and finally feel like yourself again. Seats are filling up fast, and join the Accelerator Wellness Upgrade. Every time I do one of these with my coaches and loved ones, like, I always join the upgrade, because they get in the room. You will be able to get in the room personally and ask me questions about your own challenges. Plus, you get handouts and things, and you get the replays for life. So I want to thank each and every one of you for showing up. The fact that you showed up live, or even if you're listening to this as a replay, like the woman that I'm referring to, she wasn't able to show up live, but she listened to all the replays, and then she had the replays for life to go back to. And there's journal prompts, and you're getting weekly emails. Those individuals, she's like, I just couldn't show up live. But see, it was still powerful. I still connected with her. She was still able to do the work, and she joined our Simple Health community, so she has access to connecting as well. But I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for showing up live today, or even if you're watching the replay, because the thing is that you're telling me that you're ready to heal. And that tells me that you're committed. Remember, you're not crazy that you don't feel good. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're just likely can have some toxicity or something going on that can be reversed, but we've got to get to the root cause. That's why I love what I do. So we want to start by listening and testing and trusting your gut, because your symptoms are speaking the truth. And remember, if you want to jump on a call with me, I've opened up some calls this month, especially in the next 72 hours, where you can jump on with me and I can guide you and I can help support you. Does that sound like a plan? Yeah? Amazing. All right, all you beautiful people, thank you for showing up. Thank you for being you. And here's to creating the healthiest version of yourself as you step into the June months. Have an amazing day. Bye.